Hilarious, educated, loud, lovable, ambitious, queens. H.E.L.L.A Queens!
Hey guys, so it's the H.E.L.L.A Queens Podcast and we're back. It's Dom.
Hey, it's B.
Hey, it's Omasa.
You know what? It's Tiffany, but the squares got me confused.
No,
right?
don't go by the squares. Don't go by the squares.
Because it's Dom, me, Omasa, and me. And I'm like, wait, am I next?
On my side, it doesn't look nothing like that.
Yeah, it's Dom,
Yo.
me, Tiff, B.
It's so different.
Well, welcome back to episode, what are we on? Episode 74 of the H.E.L.L.A Queens Podcast. Oh my gosh. So officially, this is our February episode, but you guys are going to see this and hear this in March because of the way we, drop our episodes. So, we are in the midst of Black History Month.
Yeah, the tail end.
For the others, but for us, we all know that Black History is not a month. It's 365 days a year because we are all Black and we make sure that we celebrate Black history every single day. Black history is not about everything that came before us, but our future as well, because Black history is us, right? So we just want to make sure that we recognize that, but at the end of the day, Black history all day. So we do have a very special episode. I feel like we're going to get deep into some deep secrets, into some inner child. But you all know that we always got to start off with our hella tea, right?
Yes.
So we do have We do have a lot of tea that we want to get into. Bianca, you want to start? Because we did talk about Black history, and there have been some great Black history moments, that I actually just talked about. Some great Black history moments that have happened as of recently. So get into it.
Yes.
Bianca, not ready?
Oh, I am ready. I didn't know I was starting. Okay, I just want to talk about.
Just had a meeting.
Forgive me, sister. You hear this ever by any chance, and I mispronounced your name. Forgive me. But JP Morgan's new CEO, Tasonda Brown Duckett. Am I saying that right? Tasonda.
Sounds about right to me.
Yeah, but she apparently she's been in the business for a long time in different sectors of it, and now she's the CEO. She's a African American woman. I started following her on Instagram because I'm like, hey, I like what the sister's doing. Let me get that energy in my timeline.
For real.
But I actually saw her from. Do you guys follow MG the mortgage guy?
Mm-hmm. He was on Earn Your Leisure podcast.
Yeah, he posted her.
Yeah, we can talk about them too. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I was talking. That's the podcast I was talking about, Tiff, earlier when I was like, they also started in like 2017, at the same time we started, 2000 around that time, whatever the case may be. But he posted her on his page, and I was like, this is so awesome. Like, we always celebrate Black women doing their thing, and she is doing it. Okay, climbed those ladders and broke down barriers.
That's right.
So shout out to her. That was my Black heroine this month.
That is a great Black milestone for us, especially as being Black women. We never see. Sometimes you think of financial, and you always just think men, but we're cutting that.
Specifically, white men.
Yes, absolutely. But we are going to cut that. Speaking of another Black queen, so recently the New York City school chancellor announced actually today that he is stepping down as of March 15th. And if you don't know much about New York City schools, are set up a little bit differently than obviously New Jersey schools. So where we have superintendents for each of our districts, like North District, East Orange, they have an NYC chancellor who's over all of the city because, we had the 5 boroughs. So he's stepping down, but he is being replaced by a Black woman who is currently the Bronx superintendent, but she will now be the New York City chancellor of all the schools in the 5 boroughs. And her name is Misha Ross Porter. So as of March 15th, don't quote me on this, but I believe it is the first Black woman to be a New York City chancellor.
Oh, good for her.
Oh,
Congratulations.
So, with all these superintendents and these chancellor, there's always controversy that comes with them, whenever you're in the political world or the school world with the boards and all that, it's always a little controversy, but, hopefully that she's very strong because parents do attack. They do, they make you feel like some type of way. Like I know the current chancellor, he's been like, they ran him out of a few meetings, like, literally he's running away from these meetings. So, we need someone who's strong, who can hold their own ground. Mm-hmm. He's it. So let's see. Let's praise this Black woman.
And for both of these Black women, it's a lot. That's a lot. All 5 boroughs. Mm-hmm. And then it made me realize, Dami, that we should hyphenate our names. They both have 2 last.
Hyphenate my fuck. You know how long that shit will be.
I'm gonna say, I think it will be kind of difficult for her to change it. At this point in her life.
Listen, 2 last name Queens is all I'm saying.
That ain't fitting on your license.
Absolutely. Whoever want to do that, it just don't work for me. My name is just too goddamn long. And I was always
not being long. It ain't gonna work for me because he ain't having that bullshit. Girl, bye. Go ahead.
And I was always like the kid, like my maiden name is Washington. So I was always a kid, like always at the end of the line, always at the back of the list. When I got to Anderson, I was like
it's the wins first. It's the wins.
But now it's reversed because Kaden hates it. Every time they call his name, he's always the first. I said, I'm not going to go through that. So
Anderson, yes.
Yeah.
I'm still left-hand. I moved up 1 letter, 1 name.
Pretty much.
Listen. But going back to Earn Your Leisure podcast, because they have definitely been breaking some Black Milestones and podcasts.
Yes,
Weren't they just on the Breakfast Club?
Yes, they were.
They are now part of the Black Effect podcast
network.
What do you call it? Network with Charlamagne the God. So they were basically on there as a promotion to this Black Effect network, as well as Earn Your Leisure. So to talk about that whole collaboration. So you just got to give it up for some Black men that look like us, that talk like us, that is giving us financial jewels, that is giving us like stock market advice, and they're not saying all these big words when we don't understand it. They breaking it down to make sure that we understand it, to make sure that we are leaving a legacy for our kids and our generation. So I love it. Big up to them.
I honestly can say that for myself because I've heard of them, but I was like, okay, it's another podcast. I really only listen to us and a few others. But when I heard the Breakfast Club interview and I heard these men were speaking, I'm like, oh, these are Black men from New York City talking about financial wealth and telling you what to invest in and how to get money. And it was so much. I felt like it was easy for me to kind of somewhat listen to relate to them because it's like they know where we're from. Like they know about, partying and getting money, but saving money, investing money. So it was like, oh, wow. So I actually just started following them, subscribed to them, and started watching them on YouTube. And I started an episode with Mark Cuban. They had a few other heavy hitters on there. And I'm like, wow, they're really doing their thing.
They are.
Congratulations. Like they got a whole university that they got going on. I thought it was so dope. And I'm like, oh, wow. So I just really started listening to them and chiming in on all their episodes. And I'm like, wow, these men really know what they're talking about.
Right. I like the fact that they're always still learning too. Like they're not the type of people who like, this what I did, this the only way, boom. And then they forget about who brought them up or how they got to where they are. I like the fact that they do it. Like they still learn from other people. That's what really impressed me about them. Because sometimes men could get caught up in their egos.
I'm glad you brought that up, Bianca, because on their podcast, on their episode with the Breakfast Club, they talked about how many of their guests that they learned from, what you're talking about, like now they are investors with them, or their guests have taught them how to earn an additional stream of income. Like one was a couple, and I think it was their first couple that ever been on their podcast. And the couple basically had mobile homes, trailer parks, that sort of thing. And guess what they got into?
They started,
right.
The stream of income. So
same thing with trucking and I was like, exactly. I was like, wow.
They always work with those, if they can utilize it, they always work with those guests that come on and make sure that they make that connection. And it's always the number one thing is always organic. They're not forcing that shit. They're not saying, oh, I got to work with this person because they came on our podcast. It's just organic. a relationship. You know what I'm saying? So I love that.
They collect, like, I feel like the guests that they have, mind you, these guests are like making millions and trillions of dollars. They want to come on their show.
Right.
They want to work with them. And it just goes to show, like, they believe in what they're creating, the platform that they're creating, and they want to actually help them grow and help other people. Like this, like literally the podcast is so, like, I feel like it's very inspirational. Like they really are trying to teach you ways to create new, streams of income. And it's really not that hard based off how they're talking about it. It's really not. It's just based off research and following the little tools and gems that they're giving you.
You have a lot of business ideas. Yeah, they're dope.
And it is so much. I can just talk about them for days because it really is a lot with them. Like the way that they go into it, but another Black people who doing it for us. You know what I'm saying? Us look good is making us feel good. Like it's just so important to see somebody on TV who looks like you, who sounds like you, and they're doing extraordinary things. You can't do nothing but highlight that. Like even the people who live locally to us, you know what I'm saying? There's so many people around that are doing so many amazing things, and we just gotta continue to network and branch off and promote and support and all those great things.
Shout out to the Black Kings out here.
Hey.
Representing.
Doing it well.
Thank you for that, Moss.
I love LL Cool J.
Anybody else you want to shout out? Hit a milestone for us, or just you want to celebrate?
It's so many in my mind. I'm just like,
well, drop a few.
They're so cluttered. I don't know. I can't think about.
Well, we can keep moving right along.
I'm talking about it. My son is doing his own Black History Month show.
Talk about it.
He's created his own lane. Like I'm so impressed with this kid lately. Like because like. You can teach kids whatever you want to teach them, but if they don't like gravitate towards it and they don't like take control of it and know that what they want out of it, it's just like you're wasting your time, right? You can teach kids new hobbies, but if they don't want to do it, it's like you're forcing it on a kid, and for him to like do this and want to do it for himself, like. So the podcast, our listeners and our viewers, you probably won't hear this until after it happened, but my son has created his own Black History Month cabaret. And the cabaret is going to be so important for his generation because he's raising money for things that he loves to do. So he's raising money for Black arts. There is the National Black Theater of Harlem that he is raising money for. You guys know that since March 13th of 2020, all stages across the United States have been shuttered. So if you work in arts, it doesn't matter if you're an entertainer, if you're an actor, if you work in theater, sing, dance, whatever, you have lost 50% or more of your income. So with that, stages and all of that have lost their revenue. So they don't even know if they can survive. Just like our mom and pops, most of our theaters are smaller theaters that started out and they can't survive this, so it's not enough funding for the entertainment world. So he wanted to do something that he can give back. He wanted to give back to his people, right? So the National Black Theater of Harlem, they make sure that Black arts is their number one go-to, that they make sure that the Black art is the forefront. So he wanted to give back. He's doing a cabaret. He has a great lineup. Like he has so many big stars from the Black Broadway community. I have no idea how he did it to get all these great people.
This is so exciting.
Right.
I do know I got to shout out Leora Haberfield from Shine Theater Art. She is one of Caden's camp owners that he goes to a camp every year, and she helped us out a lot and continues to help us out. But it's a great lineup. Like we have performers from Lion King, Hayes-Town, Ain't Too Proud to Beg, freaking Tina Turner. We have so many great performers that's going to be performing this Sunday. Those who can't watch on Sunday, we will have it on YouTube, so you'll be able to catch up and you can find out everything at Diggy's World on Instagram. But he definitely created his own lane. Like he definitely took this time throughout this pandemic to make sure that he kept his creative juices flowing. And that was not even me. You know what I'm saying? I did it. I provided the funding for him to do that, but he made sure that he knew his schedule, where he wanted to be, what class he wanted to take, and killing it. I can't be no. I can't.
He really is.
Of that kid.
No, when I heard him at yesterday's meeting, when you had the Zoom call, and you was like, "Okay, then go to this email, go to this attachment, you'll find it." He's like, "I already got it." I was like, "Oh, okay." Like he was like business. He was like, "Yeah, like either you're going to be there or not." He was going to make sure that he's prepared for that call, and I was like, "Wow!" Like I was like, "Oh yeah, this is definitely what he wants to do. Like he's dedicated to this."
Yeah. But it's because of what he see his parents doing and what you guys have taught them. Like the bridge between a goal and actually making it happen is discipline. It's being consistent with it. Like, and he see you guys do that every day. Like, okay, I told my mother and my dad I want to do this. I gotta make it happen. They ain't gonna let up off me because y'all ain't about to just throw away y'all money.
No, you know that ain't happening.
Or your time, because time is money.
Yeah.
So he made it happen. He did it. And we was just talking about it in the chat. I'm just like, he's a big boy. Like I watch him from sliding me his mixtape.
As that story.
Because you don't understand how impressive children are to me. Like, because you see their little personalities when they're that young. And you see it in them, and you like, yo, this kid is it. You know what I'm saying? Like when you see kids do stuff like that, you know they ain't playing. At 3, you're not playing with nobody. Like this is what I want to do, and he's still doing what he wants to
business
do and elevating himself. Like that's amazing, and I love to see it in Black kids. We stifle them so much, and try to, I don't want to say silence, but the world silences them so much to see him openly. Just like I'm trying to find a word to say, but just trying to put on the people who he want to be like back on the map because they're losing their jobs and they're not getting that income no more. You're trying to help them raise money for that. That's impressive. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. So
yeah, and just to talk about this, like, he's been wanting to do this the whole pandemic, but I just felt like it wasn't the right time, right? I'm like, no, Kate, I'm like, it gotta be something that like you really feel. And then like Black History Month came around, he was like, why don't we do the cabaret this month? Like, oh, okay, now we got something to show them, and we're doing it on the last day of the month, and we're showing them like we're more than just singing and dancing for you. We're doing this for us.
Right.
It's for us. It's for us by us. This is our shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all copy everything we do back in the day. This is for us.
I was thinking it, Mars. I was about to say it.
Did she say FUBU?
Nah.
That's what it is, though. It is what it is. That's what it's called, though.
Damon, John, and FUBU.
Okay.
No. But just the history of it all, like, right? Black folks we were basically like the chicken circuit, and we were made to entertain the white folks. But now we're turning all that around. It's not about entertaining. First of all, it's about you hearing our story, the stories that we are writing, right? Mm-hmm. And you're going to appreciate everything that we got to tell you.
Right. So let's talk about how Netflix have shown us, what was it, 5 or 6, Dami?
Oh, 5.
Short Black films, 5 short Black films, one of which one of your good girlfriend's son is in. Malachi, who also opened for the show that Kaden did today. I actually tuned into that. I was telling before I took a nap. But it was so impressive. Like our young people are just amazing. I'm sorry, like they are so gifted, and they can openly be that way at the school. I'm not going to say the school your son's attend, but the school that he attends, and it was awesome. It was awesome to watch. The interaction that they were having in the chat was very respectful, tasteful, and they had their own little jokes. I was like, look at these kids. Go ahead.
Big. I had to call Caden after his performance, girl, I was crying. I'm just like, yo, I could see his growth from when he started up until now, like Nickelodeon, like I see all of his growth. I'm just like, damn.
He did a man job today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I was like, nephew, you did that.
He thought.
I said, you did that. I was like, oh my God.
So I don't think so. They probably don't know what we talk about. So, but
I was gonna say, Dom, can you kind of like give the
yeah, I'm sorry. I know it's Black History Month. So Black History thing going on in our house. So Caden was selected by one of his arts teachers at school. We have no idea which one, to perform in the Black Excellence Gala, which was for Black History Month. The reason they called it a gala, because obviously it wasn't a gala. We weren't dressed up or anything, but in previous years, they felt like this Black history show at school just wasn't good enough for them. And I get that. So they wanted it to be about Black excellence. They wanted it to be more powerful. And Again, another thing what I love about Caden School is that they make sure that the Black kids are represented. You know what I'm saying? Like the school is so diverse. We have kids from all over, but at the end of the day, we know that Black kids are at a disadvantage to some other kids. So they
what's the name of Caden's school? Because we keep calling it.
It's okay. I really don't. I don't mind.
PPAS.
It's called PPAS, Professional Performing Arts School.
Okay.
I said I'm a fan.
Right. I think people should. I feel like now, it's becoming, known. I feel like other kids might want to join. Other people who are listening might want their kids to attend. So I'm like, what's the name of the actual school? Because people might want to look into it.
I only didn't say it because we also got to think about the safety of our kids. So I didn't want to make sure she was comfortable with saying the name of the school her child attends.
You won't know the schedule.
His time going to school is going to be broadcast.
But crazy these days.
People cray. So he got selected by one of his teachers to do this Black Excellence show. He actually chose to do a monologue, and so he's usually a singer, but he's actually getting out of that. But that's his own thing. He wants to go more into drama or comedy, which he likes. I don't even know.
He would be good with dry humor.
He would definitely be great with dry humor.
Correct.
So he chose a monologue from Guess Who's Coming to Dinner by Sidney Poitier. And it was very, very dramatic.
I was like,
he was basically talking to his father in the monologue, but a monologue is basically a one scene where you don't have anyone else talking to you. So you're basically a one-liner with yourself. But he was talking to his dad, and he was talking to his dad about his dad just thinking that he's a colored man, but he says, I don't see myself as a colored man. And I feel like everybody just see color, but I want you to see a man first. And it's a lie. If you haven't seen the movie, check it out. But he did that, and no one thought he was in the 6th grade. Like if I had this look at.
Do you know how much it takes to do something like that, where you don't have anybody to feed off of or go off of? It's just you.
When I tell you, everybody was like, "Oh my God, 6th grade? What?" I was like, "Yo, nephew got it."
Yeah, even the principal
crying and everything. I said, "I'm a picture of me crying." I was fucking crying.
Yeah. So, that's just that has been going on, and we got to think that I'm not raising a little kid, like I'm raising a young man, right? I'm raising somebody's husband. I'm raising somebody's, whatever. I'm raising a man. I'm not raising a little boy. So he knows respect. He knows being courteous. He knows all of that, but make sure he knows his history. Make sure these kids know their history as well. Mm-hmm. So, I make sure that as much as possible that he knows Black entertainers that came before him. So he knows that it's not just about him, but everybody else that came before him.
You gotta pay homage.
Yeah.
Oh, so say the name of your friend's son so we could talk about the short films.
Sorry, Malachi Hurd. He's in Home on the short film on Netflix. So anybody else can talk about Netflix.
I thought you had the list of the short films, so I said say the name.
Well, I don't. You could text it to me, but I don't. I don't watch TV. So.
Netflix did a for Black History Month, but Netflix do make sure that they are
inclusive.
Very much so.
They have been doing that for quite a while, but they are stepping up. So this month for Black History Month, they have 5 short films that they are highlighting on their page on Netflix, and you can watch them on YouTube as well. Malachi Hurd, which is my friend Jen's son. He also goes to Caden's school as well. He's a senior. That was so cute the way he introduced Caden today. But
it was.
So there's there's 5 films that you gotta check out. They are produced, directed, written by Black men and women, and they're starring Black actors. The first one is Black Poem, My Brother Jesus, Home, Injustice System, and Queen Bess. Those are the 5 films. You can check them out. I've only personally watched Home because it's, obviously a connection to me, but I do want to check out the other 4. And they're no longer Home was only 12 minutes long. So you can watch it right on Instagram. It's really fast. Home was interesting. How'd y'all like the Home?
I was like,
I thought it was cute.
Sure, Jordan Peele like direct this?
Yeah. I thought it was really cute. It started out like, okay, what's about to go down?
And then you only get 12 minutes. So it's like, you got to really do it in 12 minutes.
I felt like the 12 minutes, they moved it along perfectly for you to understand what they were trying to accomplish with the message.
Right.
And once you got the message, I was like, oh, okay, I see what y'all did here. And I was like, this is really cute. Yeah. So I was like, I really enjoyed it. And he did really good. Like I was just like, wow, like he should really be in like bigger, like I felt like the way he carried himself, because like I met him personally at your house, Dom, but to see him in an actual like movie or short film, I was like, okay, like he turned it on and turned it off, and it's like, wow, he really know how to turn it on. And I was like, that's what's up. Like he really carried himself like to a whole nother level. I was like, yes, this is really good. I really enjoyed it. I wish it was longer, like if it has more to it.
I think that it's going to be longer. It's probably like just a pre-production of something that she's trying to make longer about. I know that I forget her name, the writer director, but I know that it's about her life and how she felt as a Black woman or Black child living in suburbia and being like the only Black family.
Yeah, because that's spaghetti suburban.
We got straight to that point, and how the father was telling him like, "Yo, this is America. Like this is basically how it is."
The best part was like, smile and wave.
Smile and wave. Right. That's all you gotta do. Like, and he did just that. But the production was even good. Like the quality. Don't lie, like Tyler Perry was kind of,
we're not gonna go into Tyler Perry, bro. Like,
but, you get what I'm trying to go with there. Okay, so
we're not gonna go into Tyler Perry.
We can't.
Not all Black History Month.
He's also producing his own film, right, Dami? Or did it release yet? Malachi.
His own film?
He was doing something, I felt like. Or was it his mom?
His mom, yes.
Okay.
So his mom wrote a movie.
Okay. Yeah, I know you did tell us that.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where she is right now. I know that she's been trying to pitch it a bunch of places, or if she sees competition, she tried to like enter them. Okay. But her goal has always been like, if there's nothing out there for my son, I'm going to create it for my son.
Yeah,
he's been like that since I've known her, because she felt like it was not inclusive enough. And Malachi, like I said, he's a senior, so he's got Kaden by a couple of years. Yeah. But she's seen a lot. Like that's my mentor. Like it's my mom mentor in the acting world. Like I always go to her for questions so
it's the background for me, but okay.
It's the background for me.
That was a Jordan Peele clip running through real fast.
Yeah.
You're not gonna see me. You're not gonna see me. Meanwhile, looking dead at the camera. You're not gonna see me.
Wait, so I do. Maybe this was like great that we were talking about like kids and how we're raising them, right? Because our main segment is talking about your, what is it called? Your inner child wounds.
Mm-hmm.
Who want to go into that? Let's go into this main segment.
Why you hiding, Tiff?
I'm just saying, it's about to get a little deep.
It's about to get a little deep. I don't know. I think so.
I think it's about to get a little deep. Mm-hmm. Yo, what's up with that ghost in the back?
Remember, it's like we work from home.
The second time he ran a little bit too fast. I was like, okay, now he know we see him.
Okay.
For me, I felt so. Should I just tell so let's tell our listeners what the 4 inner child wounds are,
or what inner child wounds are itself. Like, what is it?
So the four that I know, I'll start with that, is the guilt wound, the abandonment wound, the neglect wound, and the trust wound. So the guilt wound is feels sorry or bad, doesn't like to ask for things, uses guilt to manipulate, is afraid to set boundaries, normally attracts people who make them feel guilty. The trust wound would be is afraid to be hurt, doesn't trust themselves, finds ways to not trust people, feels insecure and needs a lot of external validation, normally attracts people who don't feel safe. The abandonment wound would be feels left out, fears of being left, hates being alone, codependent, threatens to leave, and normally attracts emotionally unavailable people. And the last one will be the neglect wound, struggles to let things go, has low self-esteem, gets angry easily, struggles to say no, represses emotions, fears being vulnerable, and normally attracts people who don't appreciate them or make them feel seen.
So we personally, listen, each wound I can relate to, not each.
Before we go there, Tiff, I'm sorry to cut you off because some people might not really understand like what an inner child wound is, right? We gotta talk to all of our listeners, right? So if you're an adult, you might have some wounds from your childhood that are still affecting you to this day. So according to Google, inner children or your inner child wounds are parts of your psyche that remains full of innocence, awe, and wonder. When our inner child is healthy, we are connected with them. We tend to be invigorated, inspired, and excited. However, what happens when your inner child wound is traumatized from your past? We are disconnected. We're disconnected from them. When we ignore our inner child psyche as adults, again, we feel disconnected from life. We're tired, we're empty, and we're unhappy. So what Bianca described was the 4 areas of inner child. Like you might not have all 4 areas, but there might be something from your childhood that is still affecting you to this day in your adult life.
Right. I was honestly going to say that, Dom. I was going to say that each wound I can personally relate to. Like it's like one of each, like I guess, whole wound or however you want to word.
4 sectors.
Okay, yes, each sector of the wound I can personally relate to, and like you said, it's from inner child situations that occurred, and then not either addressing the situation or either knowing how to deal with the situation, at a certain age, or just because you're scared or because you don't have anyone to talk to about it. And then as an adult, me looking at these categories or each, like she said, sector, I can honestly say that I know personally, I can honestly, I understand where they're coming from with the wounds. Like I could just say that much. Like,
but it doesn't necessarily mean that
I'm
just because you have one that you, like for instance, a guilt wound, right?
Right.
Uses guilt to manipulate people. I don't manipulate. Exactly. But it may be something else under guilt, like is afraid to set boundaries.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
That was one of my traits.
Mine too.
And I was like, I know what that is. I honestly can speak on that personally. I'm like I said, I've said on the podcast before, like I feel like I'm not used and abused, but I don't know how to say no. So the boundary is never set for me to say no. So I know what that feels like, maybe because of me feeling guilty younger about, someone, I guess, always telling me no. So now I don't tell people no because I know what it feels like for someone to tell me no.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
I know that characteristic of feeling the guilt wound.
Yeah, I can agree with that too, Tiff. I feel like I struggle with the same thing. And I do, when it talks about the first one, you feel sorry, feel bad. I feel bad when I can't do something and I know that I can't. I know that I'm stretching myself thin to do it, but I'm still like, this person does so much. I got to do this.
Right.
And that comes along with me not setting boundaries for myself or others in that aspect. So I can really relate to that a lot. And I feel like I relate a lot to the abandonment wound. And it's because I grew up in not all of my family grew up the same way. And I know I talked about this previously. I grew up on Chadwick, we didn't have much, but you couldn't kind of tell that we didn't have much. But if my family went places that I couldn't afford to go, like I used to feel left out. And then again, I'm an only child. So it's not like I had a host of brothers and sisters. I had my aunt, but she was still 5 years older than me when we were younger. So it's not like we were as close as we are now. But I used to feel left out a lot. Like I don't feel like now that affects me as much as it did when I was younger because I've kind of created my own family. But it did used to affect me a lot as a child. So I can kind of relate to that one as well. And then, I kind of have daddy issues. Like my donor don't know him, like he up and left when I was 6 years old. And I told myself I would never want to be with a man that I feel would ever do that to my kids. Like I need to know for a fact before I have kids or procreate with whomever I choose that he is going to be around, whether we're together or not. So I
have a question. What do you mean by codependent and abandonment wound?
So I guess that kind of means like on codependent on others, maybe like you need to have other people kind of around, or you need to kind of gravitate towards somebody. You ever meet people who it's like once you meet them, they just stuck, like they just right here, like it's just you can't even have a separate anything from them. They want to be, and then they make you feel kind of bad when you like, oh, I want something else. Well, somebody else. Okay. We all encounter people like that in our lives before that you just like, I don't know.
Yeah, everybody can't go everywhere. Like, no.
Right. Very true.
Right. I'm trying to see.
I was looking at these and I was like, I don't think like in my childhood, I was like, the only thing that I could think of is like gets angry easily. Or
what was that one?
And neglect wound or struggles to let things go. But I think I let things go pretty good though.
But I would always say too, right? So it's evolution, right? I'm pretty sure that me growing up as an adult, not as a child, I've had something in each one of these areas. Me now, I can look back at myself and I say, wow, I've really grown from not needing someone to get through life in this journey, and not just saying like just everyday things, but it can be like, oh my God, I want to go out to dinner, but I don't want to go by myself. Like, who's going to come out to dinner with me? Me now, I'm going to go out by myself.
Yeah.
Okay, with just having a dinner by myself, you have no idea how much me time I be really needing. So but it was a point of time where I needed someone to go out. I needed someone to just come in, let's go out to the movies. Like, no, I don't need that anymore. Whatever it is, like I enjoy that little bit of me time because it's someone always around now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's like an evolution. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like, so I'm pretty sure like, again, when I first met Keys, and he would tell you to this day, like I was always that person. Like I have one cousin and I am her child's godmother. First of all, I was 15 years old and she made me her godmother. She did that because she knew she could always count on me. Even at 15. Even at 15 years old, I always had a little job. I always like had money. You know what I'm saying? Like I always made sure. And we're first cousins, so it's not like she took advantage of me or anything, but she knew I was dependable.
You're the responsible one.
I was always responsible. No matter how old, how young I was always very responsible. She knew that if she had to run out, she can depend on me to be with her baby. Like I was in the delivery room with her because she knew that she could depend on me. And that was the first baby I've ever seen like be born. 15 years. So it's just like, and we still have a great relationship. We're not as close because she lives far, but it's just like, I knew at that young, I knew that I never said no to her, even when I didn't want to do it. I never, you know what I'm saying? Because I just was like, oh, I'm young, I'm 15. Oh, she said,
you didn't set those healthy boundaries.
Right.
Now, you won't, no. I have too much on my plate where I feel like you can't be taken advantage of either. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's just that I personally know that there has in each wound I've experienced it.
I've experienced each wound. Mm-hmm. But that was my next question for each of us. So, okay, so I need you guys to look at each wound, look at each characteristic of the wound, and answer the question. From, I don't want to say a certain age group in the child, but from your previous, like younger years and your adult years, which one can you honestly say, if you had to choose one,
okay,
which one can you honestly say you can really say that the wound is based off each characteristic? Which one do you feel like you can honestly say, like you can really say, like, this is the one I suffer from the most? From when you were young, like, okay, so if you were younger, you had to pick one, which would it be? And as an adult currently right now, which one would it be?
Ooh, okay.
So for me, because I looked through them before I thought of the question, I'm like from my younger child, I want to say it was definitely guilt. And then as an adult now, I'm torn between guilt and trust. I feel like I'm gearing more to trust only because of the guilt. But I feel like I want to say it's more so trust now as an adult. So guilt previously, and then trust is currently my wound. So what will you say yours? You guys want to choose?
Anybody ready?
I would say for me, as a child, more so abandonment wound was mine. And I think now I've struggled with the guilt wound. I would say mine is guilt. I'm getting better, but I'm not all the way there.
Okay.
Are we looking at me?
Yeah.
No, honestly, excuse me. I just feel like, I don't know, because I feel like my childhood, I feel like growing up, I was more sheltered, and that, like, a lot of things I didn't experience until older, or hearing other people's experiences of like their childhood. I'm like, damn, like
you had it good.
I'm not saying that I had, well,
you had it better than
less. Yeah, that's why when I'm like, I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, I can see stuff now, but like as a child, like.
So which one now?
Oh, neglect, struggles to say no, represses emotions. Yeah.
Okay. So you don't feel any other wounds you can basically like feel like those were you as a younger child?
No.
Okay,
and that's okay. You had a healthy child. That is perfectly fine.
That's good. That's
I'm gonna start getting exposed to stuff.
No, I'm happy to hear that, because that basically changes who you are now as a person and as a woman. Because you don't have to suffer from the things that we had to suffer from collectively, and it changed who you are as a person growing up as an adult.
Like my first year in college, like the group of girls that I like became like lifelong friends with, like just hearing their stuff, like what they went through growing up and everything, they're like, oh wow, you're so blessed. Like your parents still send you money like every week. Like
I tell you all the time, I love the relationship that you have with your dad. Like, I love your relationship. Like, that he's really like one of your best friends.
My best friend is so big.
He is mine. And it's a beautiful thing. And I tell you all the time, I want my kids to have that relationship with their father. Like, it's an amazing sight to see. And it could be because I suffer from the abandonment wound that I think yours is so great.
it came from your dad, and now you know what I'm saying. Like that's the relationship that you wanted as a child. Right. You know, so that makes total sense. But I do have a comeback question, a follow up question for you, Amasa, because you're saying now.
Oh, Dom, you got to answer the question first.
Okay, all right.
Answer the question first. Don't avoid it.
She might forget her question though.
She's not gonna forget. Dom, don't forget. Okay. Please forget.
Please forget. As a child, it was guilt. It was a guilt wound, and it probably is still a little bit there. And it is mostly don't like to ask for things. I still don't like to ask for things.
That's why I said it's still the guilt and trust for me.
And I've started slowly. Like
I said that's for me now because and a part of me feel like I shouldn't have to. I feel like I earned the right sometimes not to have to ask for things. That's part of me why.
And I know entitlement though. It's like
that. I feel like how are we going to know what you need if you don't say?
I'm not talking about from like my friendships. Like I feel like
that's in general.
Nobody a mind reader.
Like
I don't know if you don't tell me.
Certain people should know, and that's why
we ain't no mind readers. Ain't nobody's a mind reader.
I understand. I am a work in progress. Okay,
that's what she said. That's what she said. That's why it's hers now, right?
Yeah, so I get it.
I will say that was me prior. You know, I still feel like it's still there. It's probably I probably still got about 25%, 30% of it still in me that I need to work on. Now, trust. Mm-hmm. It is very hard for me to trust people. I might seem like I come across it, but I am a very private person. I give you what you need to know from me, and it's not
overly.
It was how I was raised. I will tell you right now. My dad will sit here next to me. He will tell you he's worked at his job probably 40 something years. Some people don't know my name. They know they know he got kids. They know, a little bit about him. My dad don't share information. And he raised me like that. Like I went to school and he told me like, you don't tell nobody.
Tell what's going on around here.
Like,
a lot of our conditioning comes from our parents.
What goes on in our house is our house business. I don't care if it's my sister. If I didn't tell her, she don't need to know.
Yo.
That's how I was raised, and a little bit of that is in me, like is in my parenting, because I feel like my son is overly talkative, and I keep telling him like, shut your fucking mouth. That's not their business. Like, and I know that he's not.
I heard you say that before to Kaden. Like, Kaden, I was like, girl, I didn't know it was serious, but it was.
It's deeply.
But that's because that's how you were raised.
It's deeply rooted into me. Like, I don't know if it's trust issues, but it is like you don't need to know my business and what I tell you, what I don't tell you. Like, I don't like you keep asking me questions like why am I giving you the information? Like, if we don't have a close knit relationship, don't ask. Like, it's certain things that you're privy to and you don't know. So in my parenting skills now, I know Kaden look at me like, but I didn't say nothing. No, you did.
For me, it was a lot.
Although you're raising a grown man, he's still
a child.
Right.
Yeah. Like sometimes he don't realize that because he just sometimes kids, they're overly excited.
They just want to tell her.
I had to straight up tell Ariana, like, do not tell these folks where we moving to.
Yep.
Because you still got to be going to this motherfucking school. They don't need to know that. Stop. We in the backyard and she like to the neighbors like, I broom broke today. Like, she don't need to know my fucking broom broke today.
She told us what her secret stash was.
Damn. But it's to me, Dami, it's reasonable that you are that way. Like I had an incident. I'm not gonna say incident. It was just, I don't know. Like, to me, I don't like when people continuously ask me a question. If I did not answer it the first time, it means I don't want you to know the answer to the question. Keep it moving. It makes me feel like you have ulterior motives for wanting to know so badly. Like this does not affect your money, does not affect your well-being. It has nothing to do with anything that's going on to your life. So why do you need to know so bad?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of
and I feel like in my life and my friendships and my, my coworkers or whoever I'm around, whatever network I'm in, if you don't ask me the question and then, or, what I'm saying? Like if you ask me a question, you're just being like, hey, I like your whatever. Where'd you get it from? Okay. But if I say, don't keep going on about it, even though that's just an example, you know what I'm saying? But just don't keep going on about it. Like if I want to share it with you, I will. But at the end of the day, I don't mind you asking a question, but don't come to me and don't like my answer and you want to keep going. Like,
right.
What does that mean? It's explain more. It's like I gave you enough.
If you know, that's what I'm willing to do. So I understand, like especially with my inner group of friends, like I don't know, like we said, we're not mind readers, right? So if you want to ask me a question, you want to tell me something, granted, I'm here. But there's some things that are just private to me.
Right.
Some things don't always need to be said.
And it's some things that we're just not going to ask each other because it ain't none of our goddamn business.
That just come with trust for me. Like, I got to build trust. You can't just know everything about me off the top. Like, I got to build trust. And it's certain things, like, my husband always say it today, like, it's certain people that came to our house and he didn't like it because he's just like, I don't know you. Like, and now you're in my space. You know where I live. Like, those little things are trust. Like, those, I don't trust people.
Well, then I must got the trust wound too, bitch, because you can't just come up in my shit. You can't. And we were talking about this earlier. I had a very good girlfriend of mine and her new person that she was seeing. Why the fuck is he on my front porch? No, I don't even need everybody's energy in my home, first and foremost. Why is he in my front porch? And don't you dare think you're going to cross this damn barrier right here. Get your ass out. Who welcomes you in? And I was really upset with her. And I because I've been working on my communications, I let her know, don't ever do that shit again.
Wait, but did she mention that he was coming ahead of time?
No.
Oh, well then, that's the thing.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta give the heads up.
You
don't just show up with somebody.
Some people don't think about that courtesy.
No, you got to extend that courtesy.
Okay,
it wasn't even that. It wasn't even that. It was the type of individual she was dealing with, who was very controlling and thought that she had some niggas in my house.
Oh, so he just popped up out of nowhere?
Girl.
Wow. They didn't come together?
No, bro,
okay.
was already here.
No. Also, they didn't come together. They was separately.
No.
He was already here. I'm gonna step outside. My dude out here, like he just here. He just shows up. No,
hey, but to me, y'all know my husband, and y'all know he don't play that things. Take your ass outside. He shouldn't even got on my front porch. That's why I was upset with her and said something to her. Why is he on my porch?
Bianca, I'm your sister, and I don't even feel comfortable pull up on your crib without even letting you know I'm coming. So I'm just saying.
Come on. But so I get where you're going, especially with it's just to protect you and your family at the end of the day. Whether it's the family you created, the family that you was born with, that's for protection to me personally. That's how I feel. But I don't know. I got a follow-up question for you too, Dami. But go ahead with your question with Matt.
I have a question for all of us.
Thank you, Bianca. That's why you be loving me.
Bianca is a traitor.
So, Amasa, you said that your current wound that you're probably dealing with or still have some concerns is neglect, right? So neglect is basically, and I lost it. Sorry. See,
I know I'm pulling it back up right now too. I don't feel the whole thing.
No.
Like
I'm going to go to the one you said. You said still struggle to say no. Was that the one?
Yeah.
Struggle to say no. So my question was is that you said, your childhood didn't really have any of these sectors, but struggling to say no. Do you think that can be from your childhood that's still in, like, that's because it's inner child wound?
Oh, yeah, I get that.
You might not consciously think that, oh, it came from my childhood and I'm struggling with it now, but it can, because maybe you struggle because of your childhood and things that, you saw and you still want to emulate, but it might not work for you now, especially in your life. That your mom and your dad were a married couple. They were, great role models for you and your brothers. But that's not where you are now. You're not married. You have no commitments. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing for you. But you don't have to struggle to say no. You only have to depend on you. You only have you to really worry about. Everybody else has created their own families. That's their, like when Bianca said, now I got my own family. We all create our own families. So at the end of the day, the three of us in this house and my pet, so the five of us. Don't talk about my pet.
More people in that house. You're still out on that last pet. We don't know that last pet.
There's more people in that house. Don't neglect them, okay? Because that's a one.
So the three humans and the two pets in this house, those are my number one concern. You know what I'm saying? So, me and my husband had a great conversation last week, and I said, he was saying, outside, and I said, right now, what we talking about? We talking about our house. I don't give a fuck about nobody else. Mother, sister, father, brother, whoever. Because at the end of the day, if nothing's right in my house, because we take care of each other. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be here.
I can't.
Say it again for the people in the back.
Okay? Each other. Okay? So, not saying that, I love my mother, my father, my in-laws, but at the end of the day, we got to take care of
got shit going on in this house, bro.
We ain't all right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, at the end of the day, I felt like, do you think, back to my question, do you think that struggle to say no is from your childhood?
She still don't.
That was a nice elaboration. So I feel like she give her an answer now.
No, I don't think so.
Can I tell you why I think so? An observation?
Sure.
Yeah.
I feel like you struggle to say no a lot because you're the only girl. You do a lot of things for your brothers that not necessarily say that people have to do things back for you, but that it would not be done for you in reverse. You do a lot of things for a lot of other people. When I first met you, you struggled to say no to a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. And I understand you don't have your own children, but I call you the best TT ever for a reason. You struggle to say no a lot. And I feel like a part of that is because you were the only girl growing up.
So it comes from childhood?
And I feel like I've been marked too.
My own personal observation.
Even I'll be like, fuck them kids. It's still, I love the kids.
It's never kids for real.
But honestly, I feel like I've been marked because, that's what my name means. It's good to have children. So, all these kids around me, right? It's like, oh, okay. Yeah. I understand.
I know that your name meant that.
Oh, yeah.
Me either. She's never shared that with us.
No, she has. She told me that before.
I never heard it, but I love it more now.
Yeah.
Well, they do gravitate towards
I think it's more of a cultural thing, though.
Yeah.
For
that makes sense as well.
I think it's more of a cultural thing.
What's more of a cultural thing?
Oh, how I'm so here for my brothers and stuff like that. But we grew up tight though.
But you don't think, Dom, you're not here for your siblings? Because I know I'm here for mine.
No, so I don't think she's saying, I didn't mean it in the way that you guys are not there for your siblings.
No.
Not you, Bianca. Not you.
No, it's not about your comment. She says a cultural thing, but I'm like, I'm not part of your culture. I'm not Nigerian.
Like it takes a village.
Yeah.
Right. So I have that mentality.
But I had that mentality, and I wasn't raised the way you was raised in a 2-family household. I just feel like, growing up, it was evident that we had to take care of everybody. Right. It's like, we're a family. That's what family does.
So
I don't think it's a cultural thing. I think it's more of a not necessarily guilt, but like I said, that was my childhood thing was guilt, because it's like you already know if someone's not going to do it, someone has to do it in order for it to get done. So if they're not going to do it either, I have to do it. So it was more of a guilt thing for me, because it's like, okay, if my mother or sister or brother can't take care of this, I'm going to take care of it because it needs to get done.
Right.
So I don't see it as a cultural thing. I see it more of as a family thing, because we know we family. It's a trust. It's
like a dependable thing.
Not even dependable, because honestly, nobody expect me to do things that I did. I did it because I knew I could do it and it needed to get done.
But that's like being dependable. They know they can come to you to get it done.
Yeah. Dependable. I feel like dependable for me is more so like, oh well, I know if I can't do it, she can. No one ever asked me or suggested me to do it. I just felt the need to do it because I knew I could do it.
That's something different.
So that's not.
Yeah, that is something different.
That's not dependence. That's more of, that's me now. Like, perfect example. Bianca's wedding. Her friends couldn't drive to get those dresses. Nobody depended on me to do it. I did it because I wanted to.
Yeah, that was nice. That was beautiful. That was very.
I did that because I knew if no one else could do it for them, I can do it for them.
Right.
Because it didn't cost me nothing, and it didn't take no much time out of my day to do it. I did it because I wanted to, and I knew it needed to be done. That's not dependent. That's because I know Bianca. Wedding is important, and this shit needs to get taken care of. Right. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's a cultural thing. I don't think it's a dependable thing. I think it's more of a person who you are and how you're raised and the type of mentality that you have. Because nobody saw, like, just another example, nobody saw fit to do that. If I didn't say that, it would never got done.
Right.
So I just think it's based on
the only reason why I can say I see where Mass was coming from when she said it's a cultural theme, because Jamila's husband is
honest that, but I
Nigerian. Yeah.
Thing. I thought it was more of a it's outside of culture.
What she was saying is they how you said nobody expects you to. The expectation is there in the African culture for women to do. It's kind of along where Madison was going with. It's more of a cultural thing. They are expected to do that in their households. They actually are.
They're like the family regardless.
That's the expectation from a lot. I'm only speaking from where Jamila's husband, how he was brought up in his household. He's Nigerian as well, but for him, Jam said that is the culture. So that's why I said I could kind of see where Mass is coming from when she says these things. They're expected to do those things.
So what do you mean by it's a cultural thing for you, Amasa?
Like with my father, when he first immigrated from Nigeria, when he came here, he was with his sister, his older sister and his older brother. They were both here. And they pretty much, helped him to get to where he is today. I mean,
I think it's more of a just a, if I'm capable to do a thing, I could do it. But that's just my opinion, because like I said,
I also think it's more of a dependable thing. I'm like the only girl of 3 boys. The boys are lazy.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they depend on you. I don't think they depend on you.
Okay.
I'm going on record saying that I said it was because she was the only girl as a child.
They do depend on me.
You think so? So you think you told them no? They wouldn't find a way to get it done? Because they got wives and girlfriends. I'm pretty sure someone else would do it. That's out of you.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a dependable thing. I think it's more of you're the what was it? What was your wound again? It's neglect. Struggling to say no. They know that you're the yes man in the family, and you're going to do it if they ask. Because I feel like it's somewhat, it's so much of a cultural thing for you. Like, because she know. Not that she's supposed to do it, but she know, it needs to get done type of thing. So you're not going to.
She's interchangeable with guilt too, to me.
I was going to say that. I was going to say.
Look at that.
I didn't want to say guilt because I don't want to put that on her, but it's somewhat in a way guilt.
That's how it kind of came across that way. The way
the scenario played out, it sounded like it was guilt, but it's not necessarily guilt because she don't feel guilty for saying no, but she not about to tell them no.
But I do tell them no. Honestly, it depends on what it is. It really does.
Okay,
because I also said I also said gets angry easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or represses emotions.
So you're getting angry because you can't do it, or you're getting angry because they constantly ask you to do it?
Because it's more so coming to me at the last minute. It's like, yo, you knew you had to do X, Y, and Z. Like,
I hate that shit.
Don't. So if I say no, then it's like, oh, I'm like, oh wow.
Well, if they came to you at a decent amount of time and asked you to do something every day, you honestly say yes?
Yeah, probably not. Nah.
Oh, okay.
Every day? Nah.
I'm just saying, like, I'm just using an example. Like, if they ask you to do something each time, you would normally say yes every time.
It depends on what they're asking me, though. I feel like they know what they can ask for.
I feel like this scenario is subjective. You can't really answer that because, like you said, if somebody tell me, "Oh, I need to do this," I'm like, "Bro, I can't do that."
Like it was like, "Oh, can you watch the kids?" I ain't got nothing to do today. All right, cool.
Yeah, I get that. I get that scenario. B, what was your question before I asked my question?
Oh, so this was my question for you, Dami, because I felt like I struggled with this a bit after I had the girls, which was kind of like the abandonment wound, right? So me, I'm a very outgoing person. You know, once you have kids, people kind of stop inviting you places. You just stuck at home by yourself. Like Louis went back to work type of thing. So it was just like me and this baby just looking at each other in the house. So I'm like, what we talking to this baby about? And you know, it slows down after the first couple of weeks of you having a newborn. Because you know, people coming over pre-COVID, people coming over, people calling you, asking how you are, and that kind of dwindles down. Did you go through something similar? Like, could you kind of relate to that wound?
Mm-hmm, definitely. Our lives changed a lot then. So, you know, I had no break. I got pregnant right out of college. So I started very early. I graduated college in May. By October, I was pregnant. So
you had Kaden at what age, Dom?
I was 23 when I had Kaden.
Okay.
Right out of college, like literally. It changed. I was the first person out of many of my friends to have babies. Like, you know, I have a baby. Especially all my college friends, like, they just having babies now. So it definitely changed a lot. So I'm sorry, go back to your question. When I first had Kaden, Keith had just got a promotion when he was working in corporate. He was working long days. So I can imagine exactly what you're talking about. It was just me and Kaden he would leave at probably like 6 a.m. He wouldn't come home till like 7 p.m., 8 p.m. every night. I'm 23 years old.
Right.
My mother was living right around the corner. At that time, my mom and my dad were always at my house. So that did help out a lot. I can remember when I came home from having Kaden, Miss Pat, Omasa's mother, was there that day. She made a sangria and everything. Like, so
Miss Pat was ready, okay?
No, that's what Miss Pat was drinking. Y'all know Miss Pat. Y'all don't know Miss Pat. The drinking Miss Pat? Now, but anyway, I did have a lot of support. Like I was, you know, it was my first baby. Tyrinda, my sister, she lived around her, Misan, we're married at the time. They lived right around the corner. So I did have a lot of support. Mm-hmm. I didn't feel lonely, but it was overwhelming. It was overwhelming to be home alone with this baby. I'm only 23 years old. My sister was pregnant later in life. So, you know what I'm saying? Like she got pregnant pretty late, not late, but pretty late for people in our area.
African American community.
Pretty late in our area. So it was just like, I had no idea. A lot of my friends were still enjoying college. They were still enjoying life after college. Like I didn't have that. So now when you see me and I'm actually enjoying life, I really enjoy life. Like my son will be in college. I'll be just turning 40.
Right.
So it's just like
life would be just beginning.
Life would be just beginning. Like I see a huge difference in me now because Kaden is getting older than before. Like before, I didn't know a lot. I had a baby early, and it was just like I was learning as the time was learning. Like I didn't have, my mom was there, but you know, she's a fresh grandmother. She doesn't really want to put too much burden on me. She know how my temper was back then. She just like, let me just let her be and let her figure it out. But always there, like, you know, she's still always there for me. Right. So I did have a lot of support, but I was an early mom, and I figured it out I figured that out pretty by
yourself. Yeah, I feel the same way because, you know, my mom wasn't even up here when I had
Missouri, bitch.
Why would I want to go to Missouri? My mother went to Missouri too. Like, what's out there?
Was it to find a man? Because was a man.
Yeah, man out there, I understand, but damn, you got 2 girls here. But whatever.
Yeah, but it was really just, you know, and you know, my aunt don't drive. That's like my biggest support system. And a lot of my friends at the time, also, like Jam and Iris had new babies too, so they weren't coming out as often. And all my other friends didn't even have kids yet. A lot of them still don't have kids. So it was just like, damn, life is passing me by right now. And I'm just saying, like, with this baby, you know, much of when we all got really, really close, I had Ava and she was still a baby.
On the titty.
You know, literally on the fucking titty. Yeah. So for me, I kind of felt that, I'm not going to say the whole like threatened to leave type thing, but I had a little bit of abandonment issues at that time. And my mom it's been me and my mom from birth, and she had left literally the year before I had gotten pregnant. So it was like, I'm really on my own. Like I had never been on my own in my life. We were just talking about this earlier. I never even lived by myself. I wish I just even had the chance to live by myself. Yeah. It'll never
like all of that, like
you said it today.
It was very like, even I just had this conversation with Taylor Cooper. Like we always have these conversations. It's just like me and Keith literally graduated college, we moved in together, we had a baby, we got married, and we've been on this ride ever since. So it's just like, you know, I don't think that I don't have no abandonment issues, but I did have lonely spurts because on my mom's side, y'all know I'm my mom's only child, and it was times when my sister Ty, she only came over on the weekends. My older sister she was never really around. So it was I did go through a lot of lonely times. I still struggle with that. I struggle with that probably.
You're verbal about that though.
Yeah, I struggle with being lonely, but and it's not in a lonely in a sense like the men are here.
Yeah, I'm like, what's your lonely?
The men are here, but they're here. They're still like, I feel like sometimes they don't understand.
Right. You're the only woman in the house. Like,
like, so those lonely struggles, I do feel like, because they be looking at me like, what's wrong with you today?
Like, y'all getting on my nerves, bro. Y'all gotta
go.
Why you breathing so hard?
Yes. Why you next to me? Like, this give me this space. Yeah, so it's different levels of lonely. Like it ain't lonely like, oh, I need somebody to cuddle with.
Somebody to be around me. Nah, it ain't that.
No. It's really not.
Y'all understand it though, right? As women and you in a house full of men, or it's just it's something different.
In a house full of girls and a man, I still be like, go shit. I like my space.
Your long time is precious. When I say your long time,
it's amazing.
It's so precious. Like, and it's not even a mood swing. It's like, bro, I just really want to be alone.
It's just quiet.
Right. Yeah. And I need you to understand that I need that too. Like, I need to take no
offense to it. It's nothing against you. You're not doing anything wrong.
But people don't understand that though.
They don't.
That's why I stated that. I need you to understand that. I have nothing against you right now. You have nothing to do with this. This is something about me.
Nothing at all. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong with me. Nothing's wrong with you. I just want to go along. Like, just understand
I feel like all these wounds are like interchangeable.
Right.
It's just heal your inner child. That's it. Heal your inner child.
And I love that you went into that. Can we go into what I did Google some stuff, right?
Oh, okay.
I have a question too, but I hope you don't answer my question.
Yeah, okay, but that's why I said that your wound was interchangeable between neglect and guilt, because they are like they.
You know, I don't like labels, honestly. So
okay, I know you don't like labels, but that was my point. Like I feel like they
kind of medicate you and shit.
But we ain't labeling you like, girl, go fix that.
Yeah,
we're not doing that. That's not the type of labeling we're doing.
No. I just don't like labels in general.
This is a safe space, Moss.
Ask your question, Tiff, before I go into that.
So my question is somewhat about the labeling, but not really. So I said, like, it was okay. So basically, each trait has a characteristic, or each. Yeah, okay, I said it right.
Yeah, each trait
has a characteristic. As an adult now, because I feel like we somewhat can identify with each.
Flow through them.
One. If you had to pick one trait that you can honestly identify with right now, currently in your current season, which one would it be? So for like I'm going to break it down. Guilt, you got to pick one.
Yeah.
Abandonment, you got to pick one. Trust, you got to pick one. Neglect, you got to pick one.
Okay.
Pick one for each one. And I kind of want to, see if we're all on the same level to see where we are as women and collectively, because we know we talk a lot, we chime, we girls.
Yeah.
Friends.
Okay.
I want to see if we're somewhat aligned in the same, area of womanhood, So each trait, go through and pick one. You only got to pick one. So it's a hard choice, I know.
I don't think.
You know Masa face. Masa like, nah.
You go first. You go first. So you don't.
Okay, so I'm looking.
Let's go first.
No, because I'm looking at abandonment, right? And abandonment says feels left out, fears being left, hates being alone.
Some of these words are misspelled.
They are. That's why I stumbled a bit in the beginning.
You can hear me? Because I was being. I was like, being.
Yeah. Some of these words are misspelled, or maybe I can't read, but I don't know.
They are.
Hates being alone, codependent, threatens to leave, normally attracts emotionally unavailable people.
This shit is really tough, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Okay, so who wants to go first?
I'm trying to do it right now.
Oh, you gonna go first, Amasa? I thought you were saying you want to go. Okay, so you're gonna go. All right, I'm gonna
I would probably say normally attracts emotionally unavailable people because
you gotta pick
or
each
abandonment.
No, you gotta pick one from each.
One from each. So guilt, you got to pick one. Abandonment, you got to pick one. Trust, you got to pick one.
I think Tiff wants you to go in order. She wants you to go to guilt first.
I thought she was going to do that, but okay, I guess not.
I said I'm going to start with abandonment and just go around.
Okay, baby, go ahead.
I was like, am I not doing that? Okay, I'll go to guilt. Okay, so guilt was...
That's how the chart look. I just want y'all to know.
Oh, can you put the chart up?
You gonna put it on the can you put a chart on the screen?
On the Summer Jam screen?
On the Summer Jam screen. That way I ain't got to keep looking down at my phone. I can just look ahead.
Right.
All right, I'm going to pull it up right now, okay?
Clearly we're aligned because we all had the same idea at one time, so.
Y'all keep...
Okay, so guilt says feel sorry or bad, doesn't like to ask for things.
Oh, wait, Martha, let her put it up. And wait, I forgot we got a listener. So yeah, maybe you should say it. Never mind.
Uses guilt to manipulate, is afraid to set boundaries, normally attracts people who make them feel guilty. I feel like it's not a lot. I feel like it's just one person. Normally attracts people who make them feel guilty. Like, I feel like it's just one person. Like, I'm like thinking of everybody in my life, and I just feel like it's just one person.
So your guilt wound is geared to this one person. Other than that, you wouldn't have a guilt wound, you feel like?
No, I really wouldn't.
Okay.
How do you feel about that, though? How do you feel about it just being one person?
Shit came to a head, honestly, because I had to, be open and honest with them and let them know, like...
Just saying it.
How they're moving and, how they're acting towards me isn't cool. Like, especially when I'm like in a positive space. Like, I could see if I was like being negative like all the time, but I'm not that. So if I'm like in a positive like bubble and then here comes your dark cloud, it's like, bro, you gotta go.
Dark cloud.
No, dead ass.
It'll really be dark clouds though.
Yeah.
Like God be testing me a lot.
Yeah, I feel like abandonment would just... What you gonna say?
Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
No, Dom, internet, please, because I want to hear this.
No, because can people, like, I can see if they have a dark cloud at all times, but people have bad days.
They do.
No, it's like
Big difference between bad days and a dark cloud around them.
That's true.
You know what? You're right.
That's okay. Yeah, true.
You know what? I'm going to use my personal preference with this one because I've dealt with someone years ago and I took a break and I came back and it's still the same. You would think at the time someone would change or adjust.
Right.
Still the same. So it's really the dark cloud because
you see so much growth in you.
It's who you are wholeheartedly, and you're not going to change. And now that I know that, you're not meant to be here no more. Wow. So I think it is a dark cloud.
Yeah.
I thought it was seasons. I thought it was years. I thought it was like timing. Sometimes it's not even none of that. It's really who you are.
You thought it was bad days.
I had to accept that. It's
some people really just be going through shit and they wear it all the time.
Yeah.
Like all the time.
Yeah.
So like, you better take that shit off or do something.
Throw that shit away, bro. That shit trash.
I don't want to be around it no more. I just don't. Like, I had to learn that. I just don't want to be around it no more.
Absolutely.
Okay, abandonment is next, Moss.
Okay, so that was feels left out, fears being left, hates being alone, codependent, threatens to leave, normally attracts emotionally unavailable people. Currently, none of them. Before, normally attracts, like a couple of years ago, normally attracts emotionally unavailable people.
Okay.
And I can say that about my relationships.
Okay.
So what you want me to do? Neglect or trust?
I feel like they go in order, so trust should be next, right? It's like a circle.
I thought I was going to do a circle, but if you want me to zigzag it, okay. So trust.
I just wanted you to start with guilt, that's all, but it's fine.
Trust. Okay, so it says is afraid to be hurt, doesn't trust themselves, finds ways not to trust people, feels insecure and needs lots of external validation, doesn't feel safe, normally attracts people who doesn't feel safe. I guess is afraid to be hurt. I mean, who would want their feelings hurt in anything, whether it be like a friendship or like any type of relationship? Like, who would want their feelings hurt? Who would want someone to betray their trust? So I would think that, yeah. Neglect. Struggles to let things go, has low self-worth, gets angry easily, struggles to say no, represses emotions, fears being vulnerable, normally attracts people who don't appreciate them or make them feel seen. Out of all of these right now, it would have to be fears being vulnerable, like being open. I would say that.
I understand.
I love the honesty. I appreciate the dialogue and the explanation.
Like, I gotta really, really like have a conversation with you to know, okay, what I say ain't going past between the two of us or whatever.
I feel like I'm open now, somewhat to a little extent.
If you ain't, it's your girl.
No.
But starting with guilt.
I wanted to chime in on the vulnerable part.
I was like, you ain't going in the right order.
Okay.
No. I mean, we can chime in on each one's,
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I know.
I'm just trying to see how we are collectively as friends, because you know how they say you are in a circle of people who are all going through the same things. I kind of want to see if we're all on the same page with our wounds to see if we,
or like similar character traits or stuff like that.
Yeah. So that's why I asked the question, but.
Who's next?
Go.
I'll go next.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tommy.
Okay, let's say we're just going age order.
Wow.
We used to go in age order. Y'all don't remember?
We did.
Always. I hated that shit.
Yeah, that shit is not cool. I don't like always being last.
I'm going to start out with gold or guilt.
Right, because I was like...
It's definitely gold.
It's gold?
It's a goat womb, bro. But okay.
It says goats, but we've been saying guilt. Is it goats?
That's why it's goats.
Bro, I was like, yo, is this stuff really misspelled or I'm reading it incorrectly?
Bianca,
No, it's guilt. I'm looking at another one and it says guilt.
It says using guilt to manipulate.
It's spelled wrong.
What is gold? Bianca, look up gold.
That's what I wanted to look at the definition.
That song says uses guilt to manipulate. I said, oh, this might be a guilt wound then. But he said gold.
Gold is not a word, bitch. Guilt comes up.
It's supposed to be guilt. All right, people?
Y'all can't see it, but guilt comes
She
up.
drinking water,
Where you
y'all.
find this on Instagram? But you know Instagram ain't never right.
Yeah, where you find this at? Facebook?
You can find this on Instagram.
Yeah.
Bitch, it's still a good topic. They just missed a couple of words.
I'm not taking away from that. I'm not taking away from that.
Yo, Google says see guilt.
That's what it is. It's supposed to be that.
Anyway. Under guilt wound, I would definitely say right now how I'm feeling doesn't like to ask for things. Just, I struggle with that on a day-to-day. I do. I struggle with that. You don't think so, Masa?
Oh, I know that from Dom.
Well, I guess it depends on what it is. I'm like,
I don't think Dom asks. Dom is very independent in my eyes. She'll find a way to get it done by herself.
Like, Keith gets mad at that. Like, wait.
I'm like, girl, you did 600 things in 1 hour. How was that even possible for one person? She'll find a way.
You're right. There you go. Because she's doing a million things at one time. I'm like, you
find a way.
No help. You're not tired, sweet. I just got to work. I got to run home and cook for this whole fam. I'm like, girl, can nobody cook today? No.
I want to. Are you trying to kill the whole family? Go on down.
I'm going down to trust. So under trust, y'all know we just talked about that. So it's part of me. I would say right now, it's hard for me to find ways to not trust people, right? So I don't know if I talked to you guys about, no. Omasa had some little challenge thing. And I said that even when people will send me something, right? And they'll say, hey, tomorrow it's going to be 80 degrees. Bitch, I'm going to check my own weather. Because just because you told me don't mean that I believe you. That's how much trust I don't really have. Like
it all comes in of never trust anybody's information but your own.
I don't. I do my own research. I don't care what it is. I don't care. Kaden could be like, Mom, did you see the news? I said, what news channel? Let me go check TMZ.
TMZ.
I'm done.
I do. I don't know if it's
out, B.
I don't know if it's a control thing or a trust thing, but I do have to do like my own research, and I have to know more about how.
It's contrast.
Okay, whatever. Contrast. Abandonment wound. Let me see what. I really don't have much in here, but if I can say in the last 3 months, what I'll say, like, I'll threaten to leave some shit. Okay, oh, you don't want to serve me correctly? I will leave. I will get up from this table and leave.
I'll blow all this shit up.
But that's not something like abandonment is not something that is a part of me. But day to day, something could happen. So if I'm looking at the list, I would say I'll threaten to leave some shit. Okay. Neglect. I do repress my emotions. I hold them in until they get, until I just explode. I don't know why I do it. It's not an everyday thing. Like, I'm learning more now to just not hold things in. And it's so crazy that we're having a discussion, because this was actually a conversation that me and Keith had last Monday about, you get into little bickers with your husband, and those, like, our bickers now, we learn so much more from each other after, right? So like last Monday we had like a little heated argument, but it wasn't like we got real mad at each other. Like, we literally sat down and had a conversation. And we literally, and
you sit down, like I said, at the table, like a round table talking.
No, he was upstairs in his man cave, and I just went upstairs in his man cave, and I said, "You ready to talk?"
Oh, your man cave. Your man cave.
Because when when you say sit down, I don't know why I envision y'all sitting at the table. Okay, so this is what we got talking about today.
Because she's very matter of fact, and it's the businesswoman in her.
And these are the bullet points.
She's going to have the bullet points of what he said, why he said it, and what time he said it. And he can like, no, I guess he did. The receipt.
For real, yo. Y'all know me too well.
No, Dami, because you have inherited the man cave, I got Keith a picture with all his homies. I'll give you a picture of all your bitches.
No, okay, yo. I'm redoing my office and my closet room, so I'm going to be more in there. I'm not going to take his man cave.
Both of them.
They both yours.
I
do spend a lot of time up there. I do.
You gonna put a TV in yours?
I don't know yet. Should I?
No.
At least you'll have a place for your own, for your alone time.
I say you get a nice speaker.
Don't get
into a speaker.
TV, and
like when I'm working, I already have the 2 laptops set up. So one is my entertainment, like I'm watching TV from one laptop, and then I'm working on another right now.
No, get a speaker.
Get it. I can agree with the speaker. Don't get a TV.
No, I don't think it. Okay, I'll do a speaker. I can do it.
TV, she won't ever leave.
No, I won't ever leave.
She won't. She don't need no TV in there. Imagine if that girl had a TV in her damn kitchen. Girl, bye.
She probably sit there all day and
Y'all
drink.
watch a lot of TV.
Correct. Yeah. She don't need no TV in there.
We'll have a lounge area. Though. I'm going to build a little lounge. But anyway,
you got a Chase in there, right?
Huh?
You got a Chase in there?
Yeah, but I'm redoing it right now. I'm reupholstering it.
Oh, I want to see how
she's rebranding her space.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Okay, so I guess I'm next. I read from left to right. So.
What's wrong?
Okay, so for first I want to point out, look at how each different inner child wound is sitting, what they have in their head.
You are my sister for real, queen, because I'm like, plus it's like, baby girl.
You feel me?
Like, let me relax.
Mm-hmm. Right. Like I wonder if those also mean things, but okay, let me go. Let me stay on topic. So for guilt, it is definitely does not like to ask for things. And let me tell y'all what I did this week. So I went to Jam House and I had gotten a wig that she had for her assistant. Was like, I'm gonna wear this for the photo shoot because I'm not about to ask this man to pay for my hair to get done. Well, y'all know we're moving, so this has been like astronomical in terms of cost for that. Mm-hmm. But I was like, I don't want to wear this shit. This shit is not it. So I go in the room with the wig on my head. And I was like, baby, what you think of this? You think this is okay? He was like, if you want me to get your hair done, just say that. Just say that.
That was your way.
Dang.
That was my way of letting him know he needs to offer.
That's that passive aggressive.
Yep. That is
very passive aggressive. I know that about myself. I honestly can, but I do not like to ask people for things. I'm so ecstatic when people just offer to do things for me. It brightens my day. I'm sorry I struggle with it.
I feel like you're paying attention to me if you just offer to do it. It's like, oh my God, you knew I needed this and you offered. Thank you, friend.
You're the best.
Gotta be a Virgo.
Randomly check in on me and I'm like, how did you know I needed you?
How did you know I needed this? Like you were paying so much attention to me that you didn't. I love that. Somebody be quick to say, oh, you need your nails done. Are you going to pay for it?
That's asking.
Do you have the money? Okay, so then don't worry about that.
Okay, so for abandonment, I really don't have much with abandonment these days, I can honestly say. If I had to pick one.
I feel like, sorry to interrupt you, but I feel like at this point in life, Like we've all been through stuff, you know.
Right.
But we're also all doing the inner work that needs to be done, not to carry that with us. So it is a struggle to look at this list like, okay, how I'm feeling now in the current state that I am in. No, it doesn't apply. But back 2-3 years.
Yeah.
You got
That was me.
She was I was that motherfucker.
I can completely agree with that. Like right now, no.
It's still some of that in you. You just don't know. It just takes somebody to trigger it, and it's like
it's situational. Maybe it's situational.
Oh, I'm back on my old shit again. That's all. Because it's a lot of things we can all identify with on these lists. Like I'm looking, I'm like, this is gonna be hard.
Nigga, what?
That's just a lot of things we got to identify
on these lists.
on this list.
You heard it, bitch.
On these lists that we can identify with.
I can't stand you, boss. But let me see. Trust it would definitely is afraid to be hurt for me. I don't think I'm a malicious type of person. So if you do something to hurt me, it's like, bitch, why? Like, why did you think that was necessary for you to do that? Like, baby girl, you gotta grow up.
Which one did you say, B?
Is afraid to be hurt. Because I just don't think you should just be hurting people. Like, why? Yeah. So that would be mine for me. Neglect wound. So neglect wound for me, now that I'm looking at this list, I feel like it's a lot on this list for me. Like,
wow.
Is that SRU? Because that's not ST, right?
Yeah.
Wait, what you looking at, Tiff?
Neglect wound. That's not struggle.
That's struggles.
That's the word I struggled to read.
No, this came like really bright, and I'm like, yo, it's a lot of.
Now we see all the shits, right?
So as I was reading, y'all know it wasn't me not knowing how to read. Thank you. Struggles to let things go. I'm getting better at that, but I still hold on to things. I still struggle sometimes to say no. I'm getting better, but I still struggle sometimes. I'm a lot better, and I definitely repress my emotions. Absolutely. I will blow up on people. And you like, damn, bitch, I just said hi. You ain't have to do all that. But it's because I've been holding on to things that I have not said, and I'm also working on that. So those three definitely for me. I do also have a fear of being vulnerable. I don't like to feel like I have to rely on people for anything. Like, I don't even like people like that. I like different people for different things, I feel like, if that makes sense. But
I'm a user too. That's what a user does, but whatever.
Yeah, I guess.
You say you're a user?
I am. I use people for certain things. I know this person is only good for that, so I'm going to call you for that. I'm a user.
Maybe it's they're dependable for that. Like,
yeah.
And that's what
yeah, I don't
know. Or maybe it's their expertise in that, right? So Tiff, you call me.
Come on with it.
You
I
call
like that
me
word
for some,
too.
like, work-related stuff, and then you knew that. You was like, oh, I knew you were the right person to call. So it's not a user. You know who can give you the right answers for the right topic.
Yes. Come on.
I don't consider myself.
I like everything you guys are saying.
You see how it just trickled up to something better? Come on.
I don't consider myself using you because I feel like when I'm using you, I'm not using you in a negative way. I feel like I do use people in a negative way.
It's the word choice, baby. It's the word.
That's a lot of it is word choice.
You're right. Get a drink, Tiff, because I feel like you wanted to sip after that.
I'm just saying, because I definitely be using people for things that
using them for their expertise.
Okay.
Right.
I like that. That expertise.
Everything
that's
that's coming out of your mouth right now. I even appreciate the movement of your lips with that lipstick, Dami. So all those words.
Oh my God.
No lipstick today, baby. None. It's not lips.
Oh, yes.
Just roasted today. They just roasted.
Yes.
She like, you see me?
Okay. It's on you, Tiff, the youngest. It's on you.
Oh, God.
The baby.
So my get one, I seem like everybody used it, so we all full circle with this one. Doesn't like to ask for nothing. I bitch.
Wow.
Figure it out.
Tiff don't.
I'm gonna figure it out. Okay. even if it's like something small, I'm still gonna try and figure it out. It's probably like the last.
Like to use people, bitch, because you don't like to ask for things.
Exactly.
How is that? How are you using people?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I use people in a malicious way. I'm gonna be honest right now. Listen, this shit might be rewinded 2 years from now, but
2 years from now there may
I
be
use
growth.
people in a malicious way only because I know, like, I don't care about them. So like, I don't care about them like that. So when I'm using them, like, oh, I need this for that. If you're like, oh, I can't do it, it's like, okay, I don't care. You know, like, I don't know. It's weird for me. It's like, okay, you tell me no, it's like, all right, whatever. I don't care. But
I understand what you're saying.
But it's like, I'm not going to use nobody who I really care about because I don't want to hurt you or feel like I'm abusing our friendship or whatever we got going on. You know, I don't want to feel like I'm taking advantage of you. I'm not going to use you. Yeah. But niggas I don't give a fuck about. I'm going to, like, how are you like, oh, spend that nigga money? You don't care about him, bro. You don't care about him. Like, you just spend him. You only got him because what he can give you. I don't use people like that who I care about. So,
I passed out 3 times in this episode just so we're all on the same page. Thank you for that, Tiff.
You said what?
I passed out 3 times in this episode just so we all know and we are clear. Y'all ain't shit. None of y'all. Thank you. Keep going, Tiff.
Bitch, I'm
pass out for me.
I'm the shit. Bitch,
my friend says all the time that nigga don't you the nigga for what he got. It's like I don't even like doing that half the time. But when I do it, you know, I really don't care. But for the people I do care about, I don't use them and manipulate them.
So then you're not really a user?
I never said I was a wholehearted user, but I do use people.
Yo, okay.
I said I'm a user, like wholeheartedly.
just keep changing.
Listen, I'm really not. I'm okay. How do I justify?
That's what we said. It's the word choice. That's what we said.
Maybe it's the word choice. Then maybe I don't know. User does sound negative, and I don't want to seem negative, but I feel like I'm being negative because I really be having negative, you know.
Tiff, at this point is next caller. Go tell me.
I'm telling you, like, yo, I'm trying to use a good example so y'all can really understand.
No, you don't beat a dead horse.
Just keep going.
Tiff, you done beat a dead horse.
I don't know how to explain it. I'm really not good with my words as I thought I was, apparently. So I don't like to ask for things. It's guilt. Abandonment wound. Now, I guess I could say threatens to leave. If it's not for me, I'm just like, all right, I'm out. I'm going to say that with relationships a lot. If I see like signs, like it's like, all right, 1 strike, all right, cool, 2 strike, I'm out. Oh, you don't know, work through it. Work through it. Nah, it's no more working through this shit. I'm out, bro. Like, I don't want to be here no more. It don't make no sense now. Trust. This just say doesn't trust themselves. What the fuck?
Some people don't trust themselves.
Oh, I trust myself.
Yeah, that's why we're all friends.
Let's see. Is afraid to be hurt. Definitely that. I could definitely say that. I'm definitely afraid to be hurt. That's the whole not ask nobody for nothing. Because it's like, okay, you tell me no, damn, my feelings gonna be hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like, okay, somebody gonna do it.
That connects. Now that
You're using people. You're finding people to do talk about.
Yo, stop using that word.
You're using people, bro. But okay, y'all talk about I ain't making no sense, but whatever. Neglect wound. Struggle to let things go. Okay, so I neglect won't. I do struggle to let things go. Gets easily angry easily. Struggles to say no. Yes, bitch. I be turned up I go from 0 to 100 a lot. You don't notice that? Well, maybe not with you, but I do.
Angry, I think you get frustrated, Tiff.
Okay, angry or frustration, but I know my energy shifts.
Yeah,
going my way.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
My energy will shift if something's not going my way. I will either give up or I get upset.
Yeah.
Virgos don't give up.
No, I give up. Like I don't want to deal with it no more. Like so, like leaving you alone is I don't want to deal with this no more. So that's what I mean by give up. And that was part of the abandonment thing. Threatened to leave or whatever. So
Look at her looking at it.
First, I'm talking back after it.
Yo, you really...
She's the only one out of us who don't wear glasses, but she is wearing
like she needs them.
Like she needs them.
Is her screen frozen?
Tiff.
Oh, she is frozen.
Wait.
Yo, she lost connection.
Oh,
This
my
is
phone
the
on airplane
laugh I
mode. 'Cause my
needed.
shit about to die.
You guys have no idea what goes on behind the scenes of Halloween.
But hopefully, looking at us on YouTube, you get a visual of how these episodes play out.
Okay.
And, you get to see our facial expressions.
And,
because I know I'll be like,
please come look at us on March the 11th. We will be doing a live episode with Love Conflicts.
Yanni.
With Yanni. And it's going to be amazing. And then she's going to come on our show, which we'll release the following week. And it's going to be awesome. We let
You know what? It's been a while since we've been, interviewed on a show.
Right.
I don't know how well I would do at being interviewed, but we'll see how this goes.
Because we're great interviewers. I feel like that's one of our strong points.
There goes that whole being vulnerable thing.
Right. Because we got to, first of all, just so y'all know, Dominique Anderson going to want to know the questions beforehand. And ain't nobody going to give them to her. So she going to be like, who said I wanted to answer that? So y'all going to see that on the live episode.
Yes. So tune into we're going to be on her page, but it will show up on our Instagram. Right?
It'll show that
we'll be live too.
Okay.
And we'll start promoting this actually next week. So actually the day that this drop, we might start promoting that day.
Right.
Yeah.
The day that this episode drop, which is next Tuesday, March 2nd.
Yes.
We'll start promoting for our March 11th. Sometime next week, we'll have the date. So we'll have where you can find us, the time, the date on it'll be Instagram Live. So just make sure you guys tune in. We are hella excited.
Yes.
Yes,
This should be very interesting.
And please watch us on YouTube, guys. Like, I know y'all listening to us, but y'all gotta see the theatrics.
Yo, y'all listening, and we appreciate it. Y'all still
Talk
rocking
about that.
with
Talk
us.
about our stats. Talk about our stats.
Y'all been
I feel like
rocking
they
with
went
us.
up now that we're doing one episode a month. Like, we've been hitting
Who wanted to do one episode a month?
the inconsistent one. Anyway, so
Girl, you might want to retract that statement.
can't take it back. It's in the universe. Anyway.
She's shaking the table.
Moving right along. You got SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We are in the process of rebranding ourselves, so you will see a lot of more of us, preferably in the future.
Yeah.
So just stay tuned because March, I feel like it's going to be very exciting. It's fucking Women's
History Month.
We are fucking about to take over, and we ready. We ready for the new takeoff. So just continue to listen and continue to share, support, comment, retweet, repost, all that good stuff. Okay.
Yeah, thank you for all the support because this is why we keep putting out these episodes because y'all really rock with us. I love it.
I don't know if Tiff is coming back. Oh, she's here, y'all.
It's a mute. Oh.
No, we're going to have to take this one out.
You can kick people out, right?
Yeah.
Is she frozen again? No, she moving.
Her head moving.
Tiff, can you hear us? Hey, welcome back.
This jump just kicked out. I'm like, what the hell? I was in the middle.
We saw you like this for the longest.
You got to see the visual.
You got to see the visual.
The Wi-Fi was like, boop. I'm like, oh, and then the dinosaur popped up on my screen. Your Wi-Fi cut off. It said a little dinosaur that said your Wi-Fi service is currently you got to
You have a Mac. I don't have a Mac.
I don't either.
I got two people in my house. They have
I have a Mac, but I've never seen it. I don't think my internet ever went out on my Mac. That might be why.
It's literally a little dinosaur. It's like your service is whatever. Anyway. So wait, where did I leave off?
Girl, we wrapped up the show. You done?
We did.
It's still saying record though. I thought it was still on.
Well, no, we still on, but we done wrapped it up. We put a bow on it.
I text y'all when nobody replied. I guess I didn't see my text message.
No, we heard it. Your wife went out.
Yeah, you see, I put Wi-Fi. I said I was texting real fast. Oh, my Wi-Fi went out.
No, your wife.
I mean, we could end it off with some ways to deal with your inner child. If you guys want to go back to that, and then we'll have an official closing. But I did Google some ways. It says to start healing from your inner child wound. So just because, you know, this episode, what we talked about our own personal experiences with our own inner child wounds that we are currently working through, or, you know, we've worked through. So our connections with inner child wounds might not be yours. So I think that you guys should do further research into it, connect and see what you need to work on by yourself. But
as long as you're being proactive in healing, because you don't want to walk around with that. You don't want to put that on anyone.
Right. Absolutely.
Because we all have our, you know, things that we deal with on a daily.
Yep.
So work towards it. Heal that.
So just if you want to know more information or just some signs of inner child wounded inner child that you might be dealing with, some things might be you were taught that it's not okay to have your own opinions. You were punished when you were trying to speak up or act differently. You were discouraged from playing or having fun. You weren't allowed to be spontaneous. These might be certain aspects of your childhood that might, you be dealing with some adult wounds that you need to deal with. And some ways that you can start healing from your inner child, if you've already located or noticed some characteristics, you can start first by acknowledging what those wounds are, right? Second, listen to what your inner child is saying. So we gave you guys the chart, so you know certain, you have all the sectors, you know the characteristics of all the inner child wounds. So start to listen and say, okay, I know that this is a part of me. I still feel it today. Listen to that. Know what you need to change in you. Write a letter to your childhood. Like, write a letter to yourself. I've seen so many times where people say, women, they'll write a letter to their 15-year-old self and what they would have told their self then if they know now. That's a good way to evolve and grow.
That's gonna open some shit.
Journal. Again, writing a letter, journaling along the same lines. Bring back joys of your childhood. So there might be some things that have hurt you from your childhood, but think about the good things. It's always pros and cons, right?
Yeah, my homegirl just said Branchbrook skating ring just opened back up.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Yeah, I would go skating. I love skating.
Yeah.
That shit used to be fun as hell growing up, going to Branchbrook.
Okay.
And Skate 22.
Skate 22.
I was more of a Skate 22 girl.
I was both.
Yeah.
Another one is we talk about this daily. Talk to a therapist. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. Black therapy is okay, people. Find a Black therapist. Talk it out. It is so good to talk.
And they are around. Stop thinking that they are not around. They are Black therapists. They are around.
I know me noticing, because guys know I'm in the healthcare field, that I've noticed that personally, a lot of Black healthcare practitioners, no matter if it's a psychiatrist or a PCP, don't necessarily accept like Medicaid or a low-class HMOs, but contact them directly, because sometimes they will. They might not be listed on your member directory website, but sometimes if you call them and you say, hey, I have this and I'm really looking for a Black therapist or a Black practitioner, they will make special accommodations for you. I've seen it.
We'll put you on a payment plan.
They will.
I used to work at a psychiatrist's office, and we will put them on a payment plan.
The last one that I really wanted to talk about is leave the door open. So many times we're hurt by people in our childhood, and we close the door on it. We don't want to talk to them. We just leave it be. But sometimes if you leave that door open, and as you become an adult and you notice your growth or your evolution, you can go back and have a conversation with that person who hurt you, because sometimes that is the way to end the chapter. Mm-hmm. So those are some things I researched and I actually liked.
I can work on that because I be dead people.
Yeah, sometimes you do. Again, it's situational. Sometimes
it is.
Again, if you're a child and they hurt you as a child and it still affect you as an adult, you got
to work on that.
Yeah,
and verbalize it. I don't know if you guys. I know we talked about this on a personally a few years back. There was a girl who's from Newark. I don't even know if I follow her anymore.
Oh, the chick that was molested.
Yeah, she was molested and by a family friend, and she went to a funeral of a family member, and that person who molested her was at the funeral repast
eating chicken.
She basically went up to him and said, "Do you remember what you did to me?" And it might not have helped her in that situation, but it helped her long term because she was able to.
Oh, I remember that.
It came out, and those are inner child issues that she probably was still dealing with today, but she was actually able to grow from it because
he acknowledged her.
She approached him.
Yeah. No, I know she approached him, but did he acknowledge her when she?
Well, the video doesn't show that much. The video didn't show that much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
But I'm saying, she did, say, "Hey, this is what you did to me, and I know you did this to me." But it opened up doors for her to get so many people to comment on her Instagram and give her great feedback. She was interviewed. She was probably able to get the therapy that she needed because she basically outed him on social media, and it opened up the doors to everything else. So leave the door open. You just never know how you can heal from it.
Good shit, man.
There's always room for growth. There's always room for growth.
Mm-hmm.
And what an episode. What an episode.
Okay.
74.
Oh, we are out. That is episode 74. I hope you guys were entertained, were, inspired, felt supported. If you might have experienced some things that we had in our childhood or in our adulthood life, I really hope that we were able to, inspire you, motivate you, or even look into what inner child wounds is for you.
Yeah, do some research on your own.
Yeah, we want to make sure that, Black conversation, especially in our age group and girlfriends, we want to make sure that these conversations stay open. They're great. Yeah. They're not, I think we said it before, we're non-judgmental. That is very important in these days because we always feel judged by others. Like what we say, should I say this? And that's why I still have those trust issues because it comes from judgment.
And that's my fear of being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I can agree. We can also post this on our story, guys. So if you guys want to check it out on our story, it'll be there when we post the episode.
Yeah. We'll do that.
Wow.
And we out. Gang, gang.
Ciao.